As young Sheldon wraps up its final season and prepares fans for the timeline of The Big Bang Theory, one lingering question continues to trouble longtime viewers: how will the prequel reconcile its heartfelt, character-driven storytelling with the darker, more dysfunctional picture of the Cooper family painted by Sheldon in adulthood? Many fans feel the tone between the two shows is jarringly inconsistent. Where young Sheldon often leans into warmth, emotional growth, and redemption, The Big Bang Theory paints Sheldon's childhood as cold, lonely, and deeply chaotic. One of the key casualties of this tonal divide is George Sr., whose character arc has undergone a sympathetic reimagining in young Sheldon, despite Sheldon's later accusations of a negligent and cheating father. Enter Georgie and Mandy's marriage, or more precisely, first marriage. This relationship could be the show's bridge, the missing link that addresses not only canon inconsistencies, but also the emotional dissonance fans have long pointed out. Rebuilding canon through Georgie's choices. Georgie Cooper, the often overlooked older brother of Sheldon, has undergone perhaps the most surprising transformation throughout young Sheldon. From a stereotypical slacker teenager to a responsible father and business owner, Georgie has matured in ways that audiences didn't expect, and that Sheldon never acknowledged in his adult life. Now, with Mandy and baby Cece in the picture, the show is poised to explore Georgie's entrance into adulthood, and more importantly, his first real commitment: marriage. This marriage offers a rich narrative opportunity to showcase how Georgie attempts to build something different from the chaotic household he grew up in. Viewers familiar with The Big Bang Theory know that Georgie eventually becomes a successful businessman, but little is said about his emotional journey or the mistakes he might have made along the way. A first marriage, especially one that ends in divorce, which is already implied by Sheldon's mention of Georgie's multiple marriages, allows the writers to present a nuanced, emotionally grounded story that reflects the complexity of growing up in a fractured family. A mirror to George Sr. and Mary. If there's one legacy Georgie is desperate to avoid, it's the crumbling marriage of his parents. George Sr. and Mary's relationship is riddled with tension, unspoken resentment, and, according to Sheldon in The Big Bang Theory, infidelity. While young Sheldon has mostly painted George Sr. as a well-meaning, overworked father doing his best, the specter of his downfall looms. This marriage between Georgie and Mandy provides a powerful narrative device to show generational trauma in action, and, more importantly, how it might be broken. Imagine Georgie, in love with Mandy but feeling the pressure of fatherhood, finances, and responsibility far too soon. Their marriage begins with hope but quickly falls into familiar patterns, miscommunication, stress, and unmet expectations. Mandy, independent and strong-willed, struggles to reconcile her love for Georgie with his immaturity and lack of readiness. It's not hard to envision a story where the young love collapses under the weight of real-world pressures, mirroring George Sr. and Mary's own unraveling. But unlike his father, Georgie has the opportunity to choose a different path. He may make the same mistakes, perhaps even some worse ones, but where George Sr. fell into silence and secrecy, Georgie can choose vulnerability. By openly acknowledging his faults and the marriage's failure, Georgie could emerge as a symbol of emotional growth that neither his father nor his younger self had access to. This break, and eventual healing, could serve as the emotional turning point fans have been waiting for. Grounding Sheldon's narrative. Let's not forget who the narrator of young Sheldon is: Sheldon himself. From the very beginning, young Sheldon has framed itself through the lens of adult Sheldon's memories, colored by reflection, humor, and regret. But Sheldon is an unreliable narrator, brilliant in intellect, but often emotionally unaware, especially in childhood. His harsh assessments of his family in The Big Bang Theory are not lies, but they may be skewed by trauma and time. By showing Georgie's failed first marriage in young Sheldon, the show can help fans better understand Sheldon's perception of his older brother as immature and chaotic. Maybe young Sheldon did witness the marriage collapsing and drew sweeping conclusions from it. Maybe this experience shaped his deep fear of intimacy and his long-held belief that relationships are inherently doomed. Seeing Georgie struggle in his first attempt at love could lend powerful context to Sheldon's own neuroses. And if the series ends with Georgie and Mandy finding their way back to each other, whether through a second marriage or just deep mutual respect and co-parenting, then Sheldon's omission of this journey in The Big Bang Theory becomes a poignant commentary on how little we sometimes know about the people closest to us. Fixing the tone problem. One of the most consistent critiques of young Sheldon is that it has drifted too far from the comedic and often cynical tone of its predecessor. Fans who tuned in for quirky jokes and science references were instead treated to deep explorations of grief, faith, and family dysfunction. Georgie and Mandy's marriage can bring those two worlds together. It can offer comedy. Imagine Georgie fumbling through proposal plans or Mandy dealing with the chaos of Coopers at a wedding, but also genuine emotional stakes. More importantly, this arc can finally justify young Sheldon's tonal departure. The show was never about turning Sheldon into a lovable kid, it was about showing that behind every cynical genius is a lifetime of misunderstood people, missed chances, and stories never told. Georgie and Mandy's marriage is one such story, messy, real, and painfully honest. A legacy worth watching. As young Sheldon nears its end, it's clear that fans want more than just a neat tie into the Big Bang Theory. They want emotional closure. They want the Cooper family to be more than just a punchline in Sheldon's anecdotes. By exploring Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, with all its imperfections, the show has the chance to finally deliver on that promise. This arc can be the show's final gift to its viewers, a story that shows how hard it is to grow up, how easy it is to repeat mistakes, and how love, even when it fails, can lead to understanding. And maybe, just maybe, it will help fans forgive young Sheldon for not being the prequel they expected, because it dared to be something even better. Would you like a version of this formatted for publication or turned into a video script?